Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, guardians and droids across our beloved empire, to the Grand Arena Coliseum, where we are just a few short days away of 2022. And I thought it would be fun today if you and I do a little bit of a character shootout and do a quick summary of every single character and ship that has come to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes in 2021 and rank them in terms of their overall impact on the game this year. If you want to go ahead and rank everything alongside me, I'll leave a link down below to my tier list that you could also rank as well. And when you're done ranking, hit that save and we can see collectively what we think as a community. This year in Galaxy Heroes, we got a total of 20 units in Galaxy Heroes, ranging from ships, Galactic Legends, and a variety of marquee events. And I gotta say this, there was a lot of bad stuff in 2021 with the change of the Conquest making it worse than ever before. The great nerf of 2021, I can say this, a majority of these characters that we're going to talk about today are actually very useful and pretty good. Character design was pretty on point this year for the most part. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get this show on the road and start talking about... Psst. Hey, yeah, you. Come here. What if I told you that not all mobile games just release expensive several $100 characters? Well, then let me introduce you to our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends! If you want to take part in one of the greatest mobile games of all time, use the links down below. This month in Raid, there is a huge update which introduces a brand new boss, the Hydra. The head of Blight poisons you, leeches off you. The head of Torment is really meant to put the fear in you. The head of Mischief, it's gonna target one of your champions and steal all the buffs you got. The head of Wrath, this is the damage dealing head right here. Then you have the head of Decay, which really messes up your team's healing. And the head of Suffering, which is the tank of all the heads. They are actually giving away a free, super limited champion in Raid based off an esport legend and Navi superstar. Simple. And between now and January 28th, if you log in for 7 days, you too can get this character for free. Yeah, not $400. And on top of that, Raid is celebrating the holiday festivities with tons of events, so get on over before you miss out on all the fun. Use the link in the description or scan my QR code and you'll get an epic champion, Tyrell, 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard. All this treasure will be waiting for you right up here, but you gotta be quick because these rewards are only available for the next 30 days. Starting us off in 2021, we had some characters from Mandalorian Season 1 and a few from Season 2. And let's start talking about the Armorer. This year in 2021, the Mandalorians went through a lot of changes. Didn't start off strong with the Armorer bringing one of the first Mandalorian leads in the game. But she's got some decent plug-and-play viability, especially when it comes to the Galactic Legends of the game. You can plug her in with Rey, Sith Eternal's her best home, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, even Jedi Master Luke. However, she's not needed for any sort of legendary events. So seeing that she will soon be a double drop character in January 2022, if you're someone that doesn't have Mandalorians up and running, you don't have Maul, or you don't really have Sith Eternal, you could technically pass on this character. However, if you have Sith Eternal, this character is definitely good and needed for him to compete with the other GLs in the game. Overall, because she has some degree of plug and play viability and you can get use out of her with the GLs, I'm going to put her in the okay spot. But now we're getting to the juicy stuff. Celebrating Season 2 of The Mandalorian, we have the Dark Trooper. And this is what high single fire damage looks like CG. But the main bread and butter is using the Dark Trooper with the Imperial Troopers and creating a Super Trooper team. If you don't have Imperial Troopers, what are you doing? That's part number one. But part number two, if you don't have Imperial Troopers, you're not really going to find a lot of use out of Dark Trooper. Yes, you could use them with Emperor Palpatine, for example, and other Imperial type of lineups, but really, he succeeds with Piet inside of the Imperial Trooper lineup. So kind of like the Armor, if you don't have Imperial Troopers because that's not on your farming path, you could technically pass out on this character. However, if you do have Piet, you have Veers, you got your Imperial Troopers up and running, you would be a fool not to get this character, especially if you're pushing for Sith Eternal. You should probably make some time to get the Dark Trooper because this character is amazing! Vanishing. Dark Trooper is the reason why beating so many top teams is incredibly easy with Piet's Emperor's Trap, the stacking offense. His latest and greatest counter is beating things like Lord Vader. Next up, we have Bo-Katan, or as I like to call, Bo-Ka-Trash. Trying to build on top of the Mandalorian momentum that started this year, she does have the better Mandalorian lead compared to the armor, that's for sure. AoE buff the spell? Nice. AoE days? Nice. She didn't really make a big impact in the beginning of the year, hence the name Bo-Ka-Trash. Really, the main highlight with her is that she's required for Jedi Master Kenobi. But of course, if you get the Mandalorians up and running with the Maul Conquest character, when she assists on her basic, it's pretty nice. But instead of passing on her, I definitely think this is going to be more of a reluctant farm type of character. Not to say you can't get use out of her, but really, she's not needed per se for anything important in the game. Back in the days when Conquest wasn't trash and it was the hero of new content and galaxy heroes, we got the Razor Crest as the first exclusive Conquest unit. The full picture of the Razor Crest was not realized in the beginning of 2021 because the Executor wasn't quite in the game yet, but the Razor Crest started bringing bounty hunters to an interesting level of viability, and at times the Razor Crest was already able to counter the Negotiator before the Executor came into the game. Obviously, history has shown that the most important thing about the Razor Crest is going to be the Executor, which we'll get to in a moment. If you don't have Executor, this ship is definitely good. If you have the Executor, well, it's going to be amazing. This year, we got pretty much one brand new entire team that never existed before, and that is going to be the Chad Batch. We're going to kind of group them as an entire unit here. Overall, the Bad Batch is the second best non-legendary team after Imperial Troopers, in my opinion. And the good news is you could use some of the Bad Batch members individually as plug-and-play units out there. The teams that they can beat, they can pretty much underman them with a team of 4 and get you maximum banners in Grand Arena. And I'm looking forward to this team becoming double drop farmable next year in the spring. So we're going to kind of rank them as a collective unit. We're going to put them all in the amazing category. But if I had to rank them individually, I would put Hunter, Wrecker, and Tech in the good slot. But Echo, for sure, even outside of the squad, is amazing. So we're going to rank them as a collective. One of the best things that's happened in 2021 is this team, and even at low gears and low stars, they can punch up some serious degrees out there. Wait, I think we're forgetting something. Omega, the queen of the high single fire damage. So with this list, I'm going to try to be like Boba Fett's new policy. I intend to rank these characters with respect, unlike memes. But there will be a little bit of memeage here. Here's the thing with Omega. As we mentioned, the Bad Batch is an amazing team. Pretty much all the teams they can beat, they can 4-man them, meaning more banners and Grand Arena, and that could get you the win. Secondly, if you do need to beat things like Darth Vader, where you can't really 4-man them, there are plenty of options you might already have inside your rosters that are more budget-friendly, easier to farm, less gear. For example, maybe Barris, Enfys Nest, L337, Captain Rex, Commander Cody, General Kenobi, Shock T, Ahsoka Tano. Their fit spot is very open to a lot of different things if you needed it, which is not in a lot of battles they need it. The thing about Omega is, one, she's not needed for any legendary Galactic Legend character in the game. If you really needed a 5th member for whatever reason, you could throw in Omega, and she brings 3 things to the table. 1, pre-taunt on Wrecker. That's good, which means Wrecker can open up with his stun right away. 2, constantly assisting under stealth, and when you have defense up, that's a lot of, she's more of a high sustained damage character is what CG should have sold her as. And 3, she does throw up a lot of buffs out there, but again, you don't really need her, and seeing how many Chirotechs this team already needs and what she needs, and she's not really needed to make them do anything better than they could already, we're gonna put her in the pass category. Now again, if you really wanted a 5th member, she's useful to add in the 5th slot, but they don't really need her. And now we talk about the Galactic Legends that were added in 2021, Jedi Master Kenobi. Spoiler alert, I don't think you're gonna find much debate. Jedi Master Kenobi is the best Galactic Legend in the game, hands down. He beats every Galactic Legend comfortably. Amazing in all the raids. Best team in GOTB, outside and inside of the lead. Grand scheme of the game, he is an amazing character. Commander Tano, the second Conquest exclusive unit that was primarily designed with Jedi Master Kenobi in mind. And as you know, the sugar on the cookie is that she is able to instantly one-shot a character, delete them from the game with Jedi Master Kenobi's help. However, if you don't have Jedi Master Kenobi, there are plenty of ways to take advantage of Commander Ahsoka Tano with, for example, Galactic Legends Raid, Beskar Mando. Padme Amidala is the most popular home for Commander Ahsoka Tano, bringing Padme up to a more viable level. The only thing I have a complaint about with Commander Ahsoka Tano, she does not create a brand new team per se. So because of her God tier viability of Master Kenobi and reviving a lot of teams that need the help of making them a lot more viable, we're going to put her as amazing for 2021. And this year was a first, where we kind of had our first indirect Galactic Legends of ships, the Executor. This capital ship changed things for what I think the worst when it comes to ships. Basically, there's no guaranteed one-shot counter. Two shots is the new one-shot, as we like to say in Galaxy of Heroes now. When it comes to taking down the Executor, I'm sure we're going to get more consistent counters in the future, but this ship is important. This ship determines who wins territory wars and who wins grand arenas. You would be a fool if anyone ranked this ship otherwise. This ship was amazing, even though it's bad for the game's health, I think. And you know what I would take the Executor over? I would take the Executor over Lord Failure. Lord Vader. I'm going to try to keep my memes to a minimum. I was disappointed with Lord Vader. Still, he's a Galactic Legend, which means in the grand scheme of the game, he is a good character. When looking at what Galactic Legends have to offer, he is definitely lacking a bit, and he has possibly the most off-meta counters to him. What I do like is the damage over time. It's pretty much the trick, and when I see people fail against him, they just fail to keep track of the damage over time. As long as you can either run circles around Lord Vader so he never gets a chance to keep throwing damage over time, or two, you bring in tons of cleansers like Barris's passive heal, Jedi Knight Revan, Shakti. This character should not be a problem to beat. Coolest thing about him, he can solo the Sith Raid in a 2 or 3 man lineup. We're going to talk more about the Galactic Legends in a different video, and I want to say he's amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a Galactic Legend, which means he is still a very good character, but in terms of the overall impact on Galaxy of Heroes and the fact that he needs 4 Relic 8s, the most ever in the game, I'm only going to put him in the good slot. But you know who I was impressed by? Maul. Maul is amazing for one of a few reasons. The third Conquest exclusive unit that we got in 2021. Firstly, he does help Lord Vader be a lot more competitive. The problem with Lord Vader was it took him so long to build up to his ultimate. Maul, when he does his thing at the beginning, he can pretty much supercharge Lord Vader's ultimate to get him there a lot faster than before. Second reason why Maul is amazing, unlike Commander Ahsoka Tano, he took a relatively underwhelming faction and made them amazing, allowing the Mandalorians to constantly assist when Maul is taking a turn, and when he's taking 6 turns in a row, you can pretty much delete teams to get maximum banners. Maul, Mandalorians are an amazing offensive powerhouse team. I think they're a top 10 non-legendary team in the game. And even if you don't have the Mandalorians or Lord Vader, you can still get use out of Maul because he's just such a high damage character that can take repetitive turns, just have a fast character, trigger his frenzy, let him go to town. Heck, I've even seen him used with Rey, where the multiple turns he takes can supercharge Rey's ultimate and get her to an ultimate a lot faster. So I'm going to put Maul in the amazing category. There's so many ways to use this character. Next up, you have Fennec Shand, a very interesting pit stop that the game took in 2021. Kind of came out of nowhere. Not fitting off a particular theme, but obviously meant to kind of cross-promote the book of Boba Fett, which just came out today. She's another fine example of a high single-fire damage character, unlike Omega. She's got a great AoE armor shred ability. She has a lot of decent solo potential against some mediocre teams you might find in a Grand Arena defensive setting. Right now in the game, she's not necessarily needed for anything, but if you're trying to create a second bounty hunter team, that is the nice thing about her. I think her main use is going to be when Boba Fett's Sign of Jango gets unlocked in January 2022. It's going to be a different breed of character. For right now, though, I'm going to put her in the okay spot. Technically, you could pass out on this character if you don't need any more bounty hunters. Now, the year closed out with some very amazing characters to build up the Starkiller's legacy event. 4 factions were meant to get a big boost. 3 of them got so much better. Dash Rendar, long story short, he is fantastic with the prepared crew. I never would have thought there was going to be a day where the prepared crew would be amazing on offense and useful on defense. Him being such a fast character, constantly letting prepared reappear all the time, starting off with prepared right out the get-go. It's also a great unit to throw in a Beskar Mando that AoE can get tons of hits and pretty much instantly get Mando to maximum amounts of whistling birds. I'm going to put Dash Rendar in the good category. He took a dead faction, made him useful. It's not beating every single team on the block, but nonetheless, you need to bring a somewhat decent team to clear out prepared crew members now. Rebel Fighters got a little bit of love with Kyle Katarn being added to the game, and man, Rebel Fighters are a much bigger threat than ever before. Normally, when you see Rebel Fighters, you throw in Jawas or Traya. With Kyle Katarn, you gotta think twice. I have seen Kyle Katarn blow away my Sith trio in a territory war setting. The fact that he's gonna start off with massive amounts of Terminator, most likely the first one to go at the get-go, and feed possible Terminator, toss Rebel Scout assisting, this team can run circles around you. He juices up the damage on the team and the durability. He also helps the Rebel Fighters potentially counter Galactic Legends, Rey in select instances. And again, needed for Starkiller, That's another good cherry on top here. I'm going to also rank Kyle Katarn as good for Galaxy of Heroes. Not all these characters were created equal, and that leads us to Darth Talon, another character that CG tried to pitch as a high single fire burst damage character. But I do want to note two things that I do really like about her. One, she does make the Sith trio a little bit more durable. Secondly, I think the most use that we're seeing out of her, we made a video about it early on. Best thing about her, she's juicing up the speed on Sith members, and the most prominent use out of Darth Talon right now is meant to try to make the Darth running teams faster. Darth Talon, I think, in the future will become a bit more prevalent. I think we're going to be getting a Sith trio rework, maybe some love next year for Sith, or maybe we'll see Darth Talon get a Sith that's more applicable to her storyline next year. As of now, not a fan of her, but she is needed for Star Killer. I'm going to put her in the reluctant farm category. You're going to want to farm her at some point. You're going to have to get her up to Relic 5 for Star Killer. The more underwhelming out of the last batch of character that has come out this year, Mara freaking Jade. I've been meaning to make a video just kind of showing more of the overall impact she's had on the game. I'm not even joking right now. Mara Jade, I think, has a more greater impact on Galaxy Heroes than Lord Vader has done for Galaxy Heroes. The fact that at 3 stars, low gear level, she's able to beat Galactic Legends, able to help free-to-play players get over their biggest fears in Grand Array like Geonosians. Geonosians are a max banner win now for low gear Palpatine and Vader teams. I've punched up from a gear 8-9 team, taken on gear 12-13 Geonosians for max banners. I've taken out higher gear Jedi Knight Revans. On my main account, I never would use my Vader and Palpatine since the great nerf of 2021. Now Palpatine, Vader, Mara Jade are a staple team in the game, and if she gets going, it's going to be hard to stop the Palpatine, baby. Mara Jade, amazing character. I think she's the best character to come out of the last 4 that we got this year. Such a big impact on the game for end-game players, mid-game players, and especially free-to-play players, and she's needed for the last character we got to talk about, Star Killer. Star Killer is an interesting breed of character. Legacy event, 4 characters recorded, all at Relic 5, so not easily accessible right now. But I have shown that in a Grand Arena setting, Star Killer can beat things like General Anakin Skywalker, Commander Luke Skywalker for max banners, and seems like he can also take out Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Sith Eternals, and we're still learning more about this character. Downsides of Star Killer that I have right now is because he's very Omicron, Grand Arena dependent. We're not getting a lot of use out of him outside of Grand Arena right now. He's not really use of Lord Vader right now, although there is a bug that lets him be use of Lord Vader, but I'm assuming that's going to be patched. However, in a Grand Arena setting, if you're looking for a solid off-meta counter to take on top teams for high banners, he puts together some mishmashy characters that form teams that we saw back in 2016, 2017, with a bunch of random characters thrown together that weren't from even the same era or timelines, and makes them super deadly. Barriss, Count Dooku, Visas Mar. So I'm going to put Star Killer in the good category. Maybe he's going to have a bigger future down the line, but as of now, I like where he is. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is how I'm ranking all of the units that came out in 2021. I feel for the most part, this is probably going to be a very good understanding of how these characters impacted the game in general in 2021. If you don't want to be as harsh as me, I suppose you can take Lord Vader and bump him up into amazing, but I think you guys understand the point I was trying to make. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Would love to hear your thoughts, and I'm looking forward to the journey, the characters that we're gonna love and hate on in 2022. But until then, I'll catch you later, and most importantly, always remember that it's great to be in the Empire today.